Hey there, sheepdoggers, and welcome to another Blood Bowl 2 video. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be, because I've been doing a fuck ton of them. Oh, I like the word fuck ton. So yeah, we're going to be doing another kind of tips, tricks, management, kind of early stuff. And the team we're going to do it for today is Orcs. So I will be doing humans, I will be doing dwarfs. I feel a bit shakier. I feel a bit on shakier ground with the orcs, with the humans and with the dwarves. I'll do my best, but you know, these aren't really like pro tips or anything. This is just me being like, this is what I do, this is what I like. These are my tips from my perspective. So if you're like, well, you don't know what you're talking about, you might be right. But you know, people have found it helpful so far, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Alright, so what we're going to talk about first is we're going to talk about team composition. And the thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this team. Now, this isn't a typical team. You can see in my history, 2-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0, 0-2. Played against Skaven. I got really unlucky in the first turn of his. He started in the first turn. I got an injury on my Black Orc, and I got another injury on my I got a knockout, sorry, on my Black Orc. It was a ridiculous game. I may even put it up just purely for the amount of bullshit that happened. I didn't mean to do that. Purely for the amount of bullshit that happened. See, I even had a death, so I may actually do a video on this. Yeah, I think I might. Anyway, the team roster is, at this point, Blitzer, 4 Black Orcs, Thrower, Lineman, Blitzer, Lineman, Blitzer, Troll. Not an amazing, you know, it's not, there's nothing too amazing, but the one thing you'll notice is the Blitzers. You know, you can have 4 Blitzers, you can have 4 Black Orcs, and you see this Troll here. So I did have a lineman here, but he was the guy who got killed, and he had kick. Now I'll talk a little bit about kick in a bit, but so this was originally a lineman, and my original starting lineup is this. You know, you take out this Troll, and the Blitzer, replace that with a lineman. So I went Blitzer, Black Orc, Black Orc, Black Orc, Black Orc, Thrower, Lineman, Blitzer, lineman, and Thrower, lineman, Blitzer, and that's I think actually, no, honestly, sorry, I fucked that up. Starting lineup goes up to the lineman, and then I have 3 rerolls and an apothecary. Now I will explain why I had an apothecary as well. Okay, so. The way I play is very conservative, to a certain extent. Now you'll see me when I play like Skaven games, I'll take a lot of risks, I'll end up, you know, but that's how the Skaven team is. You end up having to take stupid risks. You know, a 1 dice block with, a 1 dice block with, a 1 dice block with no skill block on your player, and you just have to, you know, no rerolls, you just have to throw fate, you know, you have to throw it to the wind and just be like, fuck it, I'll try. Now with the Orcs, if things go your way, or even if you just have regular kind of run-of-the-mill luck, you should be alright with 3 rerolls. You know, like, there's always, you know, problems picking up and etc, but for the most part you should be fine. Now I'm going to show you probably this one here, sheepdogging versus Orcs and Dorks, and I'll give you a little bit of commentary and etc. I'll try not to make it run too long, but yeah, we'll get to that. So you can see here, I've got a Blitzer with agility 4. This guy is immense. I have a Thrower with dodge and strong arm. Sorry, no, he doesn't have strong arm. Cancel that. My Skaven has strong arm. So yeah, I have a Thrower with dodge, pass your hands dodge. Level 2, his first skill, not too bad. I have a blitzer with jump up. Jump up, very useful for orcs because of their poor movement allowance. You want your more mobile guys to be able to get knocked down and get back up and move further. I have another blitzer who's level 3 with Dauntless and Dodge. Yep, that's right, he got doubles. So I gave him Dauntless, I gave him Dodge. What this means, and it's a great idea if you're not going for a troll, especially if you're an orc team, because trolls are shit. They are probably one of the worst, and we'll get on why. We'll talk about why soon. So, and then I have this blitzer with agility, who is just ridiculous. I don't. Last week touchdown. Yeah, I don't know if there's like a thing I can do here to show you how many he's scored. And I don't think there's anything here which will let you know. Port and market, but yeah, and maybe they haven't added it in or anything, but Z Blaster is awesome. So let's talk about making an orc team. Alright, so the first thing you want to do, obviously, is make an orc team. We're just going to go random, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. That'll do. There you go. This is not important, it's just all about, yeah, there you go. Automatic choice of roster? No. Okay, so, let's click on the troll and see why we don't choose the troll. Movement 4. To begin with, you know, your lineman and your thrower, movement 5, your goblin, movement 6, your black orcs, movement 4, agility 2, your blitzer, movement 6, strength 3. So the orcs are on, the troll is on par with the black orcs, except for he has even less agility. Now, the nice thing about a troll is the mighty blow and the regeneration. If player suffers a casualty, then roll d6 for regeneration, and after any apothecary roll, if allowed. On a result of 1 to 3, player suffers the result of their injury as normal. 4 to 6, they heal it, but it's placed. So even if you get like badly hurt, he can regenerate that 50-50, and he won't be injured for the game. And he can just go back out there. So that's cool. And there are other teams with that, undead teams especially, tend to have this to some degree. And he can throw a teammate. So if any small teammate, for example, a goblin, he can pick them up and throw them, even if they're carrying the ball. It's a very interesting tactic, and it doesn't work out very often, but you can have a fun team like this. Now, the mighty blow is the awesome one, and it's a common thing on a big guy, like a troll or an ogre or a Skaven rat ogre. Add 1 to any armor or injury roll made by a player with the skill when an opponent is knocked down by this player during a block. So if I knock down a Skaven, I need a 7+ instead of an 8+, because it will add 1 to the armor. When I'm rolling for injuries, it's more likely to injure. Now, if you're a Skaven and you add Claw onto this, it is beautiful. Like, you can add it onto your Storm Vermin. Like, you know, if you roll doubles and get a mutation, you can add a Claw onto your guy. He turns into an injury machine, and it's beautiful. And you can do it on a lot of, you know, you can do it on Skaven. You can do it on. It's very common to see on Chaos. So yeah, there's that. Now the real massive problem is Loner. A Loner may use team rerolls, but has to roll a dice first. So if your first roll of a turn is a troll, and you get 2 skulls, you know, like, it's very normal for a troll to have 2 dice. But I think if you've played any Blood Bowl, and if you've watched any of my Blood Bowls, you will know that 2 skulls will come up on a regular occasion. So you have a 50-50 chance of not being able to use a reroll after using a reroll. The reroll stands, but it's lost. It doesn't get used. It just goes away. So you're like, yeah, I'm using a reroll, but I don't actually get to use it on a roll of 4 plus. On a roll of 4 plus. Sorry, on a roll of 1 to 3, you don't get to use it, and the reroll's lost. So it's a complete waste, and you'll still get a turn. You'll keep the 2 skulls, and you'll get a turnover, which is why quite often you won't get to use your troll because you've got to do everything else first. Even pick up the ball. You know, if you have your troll on your offense when you're like pushing, you use him after you pick up the ball, which means that if you drop the ball, you don't use him. And he's kind of wasted because you could use, you could use your Black Orcs. Now, Always Hungry as well is hilarious. When throwing a teammate, if you roll a 1, you eat him. So you can end up eating your goblins. But they're cheap, so who gives a shit? So the really stupid is the worst part about it, and especially on a troll. After declaring an action for the player, roll a d6, adding 2 if there are any adjacent teammates. So you have to keep, like if you have a goblin, you keep a goblin next to him when he does anything, because then you'll add 2. On a roll of 1 to 3, they stand around trying to remember what it is they're meant to be doing, and the action is wasted. The player loses tackle zone, may not catch, intercept, may not do anything. So he loses his tackle zone as well. You know, with Wild Beast, at least you don't lose your tackle zone. With Really Stupid, you lose your tackle zone. And the trolls, trolls 1 agility, 4 movement. Like, if you get knocked down and then you get a couple of Really Stupids, you can end up not using him the entire time. And it is a pain in the arse. And that is why I'd never advise you to take a troll. Even later on, when you got more agility teams than that, you're better off with the Black Orcs. Now, the setup that I use, I've already shown you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 1 thrower, and then you go up to 11, like so. Now, the great thing about orcs, and you have a choice here. You can get an extra orc, or you can get an apothecary. Now, the choice really is up to you. Both are decent things. You can also get a goblin if you so choose. Like, the goblins you can see here, they have right stuff, can be thrown by teammates. Dodge, always useful, especially in a team where you don't have dodge. And stunty, player with stunty skill, ignore enemy tackle zones, must subtract 1 to roll when they pass. In addition, they're injured more easily. And yeah, there you go. That's goblins. Like, they're injured more easily, but they're good for getting in to cages and stuff like that. So they're interesting, and the same for most small. Again, thrower, pass your hands. You've got nothing on your Black Orcs. You've got just block on your blitzer, and then your linemen have nothing as well. Now, what I'm gonna talk about here is why I go with this setup. Why I don't get an extra teammate, and I in fact get 3 rerolls and an apothecary. Like, that's my team setup. 3 rerolls, apothecary, 11 men. Now, the thing is you have your thrower with sure hands for a pickup, so your need for a goblin isn't that high, and a goblin's not a passer. So he can't clutch pass, and every now and then you'll need to clutch pass. You got 2 blitzers because you need your rerolls, not just to pick up, but for other like emergency situations. And how you should be trying to play is your Black Orcs are last. Your linemen probably won't throw blocks until the end, along with the Black Orcs. If you've got 2 dice, blocks. You're going to be using your blitzers mostly because they're the safest option. You're going to be trying to get 2 dice. And then you do your picking up if you need to, and etc. And then you'll do your Black Orcs, and then you'll probably do your linemen at the last. And the reason this is because these guys don't have block. So if you get a skull and both down, that's the end of your turn. And even with 3 rerolls, the Orcs throw a lot of blocks, so they're more likely to get more double skulls, to get more both downs, all of that stuff which will screw over your turn. So you want to minimize the risk of ending your turn early because you don't want to be using those rerolls to maybe, possibly get out of a bad block that's going to end your turn. You know, if you've used your thrower to pick up the ball, if you've used your blitzers to throw blocks, if you've put your linemen into position, and then you use your Black Orcs to block at the end of the turn, when you've kind of covered your thrower, when you've got everything set up, so you know you feel fairly safe for the next turn. You know, when you get 2 skulls on a Black Orc, you can go, well, Black Orcs are alright, because, you know, they got high armor value. He's probably going to get knocked down and get straight back up, you know, and then I can move him where I want, and I can do what I want with him. And that's, you know, that's great. Because it means you're not wasting a reroll just purely to keep punching and stuff. You know, on every team, even the most bashiest of teams, if you don't score a touchdown, you don't win. And I have seen many a time a bashy team, Orcs included, where they are spending 2 or 3 turns trying to pick up the bloody ball because they wasted all of their rerolls before. So, yeah, that's definitely something to think about. Now, the other setups you can go with, you can take away a Black Orc, you can add in more blitzers. You know, as you can see here, the Black Orc is 80,000, the blitzers are 90,000. You know, you can pick and mix. You can possibly think about taking away the apothecary and adding in something else. You know, those kind of things. The reason I go with 4 Black Orcs for the beginning, as you will see when we check out the sheepdogging again. Okay, so this is after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches, and keep in mind this isn't with all the teams. So the slightly more bashable teams, the only one that there are Skaven, and you can see I've only played 2 Skaven teams, whereas I've played 3 Skaven teams. I've played 1, 2 dwarves, I think, and 2 orcs. I don't think I've played any humans at all. No, I haven't actually. Not with this team, anyway. And so you can see here, my Black Orcs, 2 injuries on that guy. One man of the match, 1 injury. None of them have leveled up yet after that many things. And it's because you can see my blitzers, my thrower, like these are the guys who are getting the points. And especially because the races that are available, you don't have as many injuries with humans versus orcs. You don't have as many injuries dwarfs versus... Yeah, it does happen. But on average, it's the injuries and deaths are not as high as they are in the full game, because you don't have the dodgy teams which pass and have lower armor values. Now, what you can do as well is you can take things out. You can, as I said, you can have another player so you've got extra. But the thing is you're not wanting to worry about your linemen. You're most likely, as long as things don't go too badly, able to do enough punching to dominate. Like, even against orcs, even against dwarves, you should be able to dominate them in punching, because you have 4 strength 4s. You know, that's so much better than 1 strength 5. Like, you can argue that you can put them together in that, but, you know, it's better to have your rerolls. Like, for example, for your Black Orcs, like, they have 2 agility. They still roll 2 dice. It's just that it's singular black dice. So you can out-punch, you can out-maneuver. You're using your blitzers, you're using your thrower. Your linemen are soaking up damage from things that are dangerous, like big guys. And the problem I really have here is I've needed to get certain things because they've been useful. I mean, I was offered 4 agility on a blitzer. Yeah, he gets a lot of touchdowns and he's really good, but you're never going to be as good as a Skaven team at scoring touchdowns. You don't have the movement compared to them, so you'll actually end up against a Skaven team and not do as well as you'd expect, possibly even lose, etc., because they're better at the running and passing game than you are. I've got Dauntless on this guy because so many people at the moment are new to the game and they're enjoying the bashy side of it, that having Dauntless on a Blitzer is really useful. Because you've got your block already, first skill is Dauntless, and then you can take down a troll. And again, this is why big guys aren't that useful, because as soon as you down those guys, it can take you an entire turn to get them back up, an entire half to get them back up on their feet, and they are rendered useless. And for how expensive was this guy? How much a troll? Sorry, the troll. 110,000. You know, for that to become absolutely useless for a half, maybe the entire game, is not that worth. You know, it's random chance, and you know what random chance is like to you. You know, especially in this game. Yeah, the Apothecary I take because things like Blitzers are 90,000, Black Orcs are 80,000, Throwers are 70,000. Now, it's unlikely that they're going to get injured, but do you really want to take the chance of, you know, maybe getting an injury with a Black Orc, a man of, you know, you would have got, maybe get man of the match or etc., and then the dude just dies, like, second game. You know, you level him up, you give him block, or you level him up, you give him something, and then he just dies the next game, and you can't do anything about it, because you don't have an Apothecary. So, you know, like, there's that to consider. Even if it just dies straight off the bat, it can set you back in getting your team up, you know. I mean, I ignored this dude losing an agility because he's 50,000. He hasn't been leveled up. He's 50,000. I ignored one of my dead linemen who was here, who I gave kick to when he leveled up, because I'd prefer to save an agility 4 blitzer who cost 90,000 than I would to save just a regular lineman with kick. You can give them kick whenever you like. So the discretion, again, is still there. Like, you're not always going to get loads of deaths and injuries on your side as an Orc player, but you must always prepare for that, because it can happen. You know, you can go up against a Skaven team that will destroy you with the right skills. You know, like, again, Storm Vermin with Mighty Blow Claw can very, very likely kill your guys. And so you've got to be careful of these things. Okay, so the other kind of lineups. Let's go back to our, where are they? Afe. There we go. So yeah, you can run things a bit differently. You can kind of, you know, scale things back, get a troll, get a goblin if you want to have a bit more fun with it. But this is about running a kind of, I'm going to inverted commas, successful Orc team. And for my money, the most reliable way is to be careful. And with a troll, you ain't careful. With a goblin, you know, it's another puncher that it's getting in the way of having another puncher. So you get 11, you get the Apothecary, and ignore the lineman getting injuries, mostly. You know, if it's crunch situation, you've got a couple of turns left in the game, and a dude goes down, you're like, I don't want him I don't want to lose him just in case, except, you know, I'd prefer him to be stunned instead of KO'd or whatever. Yeah, then possibly. But at the beginning of the game, if, for example, off the top of my head, if a Rat Ogre smacks your Black Orc and he gets injured, and it's like badly hurt, no effect, you know, it's just going to keep you out of the game, you go, fuck it could be worse. Or if your lineman loses 2 agility, you go, at least it wasn't my Blitzer who lost 2 agility. So yeah. There you go. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to carry on talking about the Orcs while we watch a game. Now, I'm tempted to play this game because it's a great example of how bad I did. But I'm going to play this one versus Orcs and Dorks, where I played pretty well. And you'll see Zed Blaster up close. Like, he is... Oh, sorry. Wait, there we go. He is... quite literally ridiculous. So yeah, this is the thing. Is you'll so I'm playing against another team of orcs, which is a good. It's a good indication of what I'm talking about, because I don't really get injured at all. You know, they're a much bashier team than me. Let's just skip these bits. Sorry about this, guys, because I don't want the video to run too long, and I'm you know, I'm getting towards the point where I need to go sleep, so I've got to edit this video and load it up and all that kind of thing before I go to sleep. So yeah, you can see this isn't the example. Actually, the example is in a Skaven team, where I was playing Skaven and he was playing Orcs with 3 Black Orcs, 4 Blitzers. Yeah, sorry. 3 Black Orcs, 4 Blitzers, a Troll, a Goblin, and no rerolls. Because of the team value difference, he did in fact get an extra reroll because of the inducements he got, because the team value was so big. But yeah, aside from that, like, no, he had no rerolls, and he used his rerolls in situation. I did that accidentally. I wanted to give it to him. He used his rerolls in situations where he shouldn't. You know, like he'd roll a orc, a black orc first, get 2 skulls, or get a skull and a both down, and not to be able to do anything about it apart from roll, because it was the end of his turn. So you see here what I'm doing is I'm caging up. I get my ball carrier on there. I actually accidentally clicked behind there, and he moved of his own volition. You know, like, I didn't get. It's a little bit annoying to have stuff like that happen, but you know, what are you gonna do? But you know, again, like, if you make a mistake like that, and even if you got 5 rerolls, you got to go, is it worth it to reroll? You know, what's the likelihood? I had a 33% chance of making this dodge from here to here. I also had to do another dodge from here to here. You know, even if you reroll that, you're probably going to fail again the next roll. And yeah, this is a good thing to talk about. So the guy I'm up against, Bainesy here, he's got an apothecary. He's got 3 rerolls. He's got 4 black orcs. Has he got 4 black orcs? Yeah, he's got 4 black orcs. He's got the blitzers, 4 blitzers here, a lineman, and a thrower. Now you can see he's actually got some points, so he's played a few times. But that's kind of what you want to do, is after you get a bit of money, you get another reroll. You can see here I've got 5. We did both gain another one, I think. So I'm actually on 4 rerolls, which is the first thing I tend to get as an orc team, aside from kind of replacing any players who get injured or die. You know, I'd probably get a blitzer first off, and then after the blitzer, I'd go for another reroll. Because orcs with 4 rerolls is an orc team which you can probably depend on. If you're looking for blood in this one, by the way, I mean, aside from a lot of punching each other down, as I remember, there weren't really any injuries or anything. I may be wrong, but as I remember, there weren't any injuries or anything. And you can see kind of my basic tactic was, oh shit, I gave it to the wrong person, now let's run. And that's what I do. I basically go, he's gonna probably have to, and yeah, you see he went immediately into the, he's got a strength 4 lineman right there. He's, you know, that's a nice little pick. But you see here, like, he did a 1 dice block, and it turned into, you know, it was both down because he's using a black orc. It turned into, you know, I have to use a reroll, and then he didn't have a reroll for this single dice block. And my guy here is agility 4. Which, you know, again, he didn't have a reroll for that dodge either. Which means agility 4 blitzer, you know, I could just dodge out of the way. I mean, I could also just smack him down with my blitzers. Boom. And again, this highlights the importance of having a deep field. You know, it's all very well wanting to bash away, but in this situation, yeah, KO. There you go. There's a KO. In this situation where, you know, you're orc on orc, you ain't gonna get that many injuries unless you're lucky. And yeah, you have to run again. See, I didn't use a reroll because I didn't need to. But my dude's up there. There's no one now who can catch him. Like, you know, that guy there, this guy here, they have to do 2 going for it to get to me, and they also have to get free. Like this guy here, even I think. This guy here even has to do going for it, and even then, that's leaving him open, and etc. Yeah, it's not good for him. So you see, I just get a touchdown. Turn 4 touchdown, pretty good for an orc. You know, it could have been better, but it's good enough. And this is my, you know, again, agility 4 blitzer, very useful. If you get the chance for agility 4 on the on one of your blitzers, or if you get the chance for strength 4 on one of your linemen, you take it, no questions asked. That's kind of fairly general, a general rule, but I'd say, you know, for orcs especially, strength on your linemen, great. Strength on your black orcs as well, good. And also on your blitzers, strength. Strength is pretty much always good, but agility 4 is what you're looking for on your blitzers, especially because it takes your team from just bashy to damn, that dude can catch. You know, he can even throw decently. And if you can get agility plus agility in your thrower as well, that's awesome too. And now, you see, I'm defending here this time, and I don't have that deep a line, which, you know, could possibly be a mistake. But I've got 5 rerolls, so, you know, and I've got 2 blitzers there behind two black orcs. I've got a blitzer here, you know, so I've got the mobility and the ability to be free, whereas he's put all his black orcs pretty much, yeah, he's actually, I think he's put, and that's just unfortunate. Oh, so's that. So it was a niggling injury. It would add 1 to his add 1 to all of his injury rolls, and like I had a quick word, and I was like, yeah, I'd use it because he's got a dodge block thrower with sure hands and pass. You know, that the dodge block thrower is just useful. And I think possibly now, from what I seem to remember, his dodge block thrower actually has agility 4 now as well. I think. Don't quote me on that. So yeah, you can see what I did here. I just made a space, and I just basically wanted to go for the ball as much as possible. You know, here he is, agility 4 blitzer. You can see I'm kind of doing the fights, getting the fights going in the center as well, trying to knock their guys down. You know, minimize the chance of lots of my guys getting knocked down at the same time, and just trying to put pressure on the ball as well. Myself, I fell over, and I re-rolled because at this point I can re-roll every turn if I want to. And you can see he's playing a little bit deeper this time. You know, he hasn't run all of his guys up, because possibly because he realized I've got this agility for blitzer, and yeah, other reasons. And yeah, again, this is a good play. You know, go in, get a 2 dice, knock him down, awesome, and then you can work on picking up the ball. And the thing that a lot of, especially a lot of bashy teams forget, is like him doing that there. You know, like move this guy up. You know, get a little bit of cover on the ball in case you drop it, because the possibility is easily there that you will drop it. And even if you use a reroll, at least it means that you're covering the ball and making it harder for the enemy to just charge in and snatch the ball off you. You know, repeatedly trying to pick up the ball and failing, and using rerolls to pick up the ball. That's what will kill a bashy team. Like, if you get rid of all of their rerolls and then drop the ball on the floor, teams like Dwarves, especially if you're, you know, like monopolizing the ball and all that kind of stuff, will end up just getting turnover after turnover because they can't pick up the damn ball. I've played against an Orc team, and they didn't have many rerolls. They used all their rerolls. They took a troll first, and there was an entire half where they never picked up the ball once, and they were receiving the ball, and they never actually picked up. I was Skaven, so I just kind of ran in, picked it up with gutter runners, ran it into the touchdown line. But yeah, this is kind of the point here that I'm making. Is like, you need to save your rerolls, not for fighty stuff if you can avoid it. You know, and that's why you need to do certain dice rolls first when you can, because otherwise you'll end up being like, well, my first roll was 2 dice, I got 2 skulls, and now I've got to use another reroll. Where if it was one of the last blocks of the game, you've done everything you need to, and it's like, yeah, like using that reroll there, that is unnecessary, because no, actually, I'm gonna say it was unnecessary for him to roll that block first. You know, like, yeah, he managed to get a stun on and that, but at the end of the day, he's used another reroll. And like, if he needs to dodge out the way to get a touchdown, if he needs to go for it to get a touchdown, it's better to have it there as like a last resort, gonna do something about this. And again, here he's kind of unlucky because he's already done a reroll. That going for it was risky, but he decides, like, yeah, let's do this, and I've got this guy free here. So the first thing I do is blitz his ball carrier. 2 dice, rerolls, likelihood is I've got it. And what happens is I do indeed have it. So that's, you know, that's more like, oh yeah, and then it bounces around until it ends up back up this way. And like that, this is the thing is, you know, it wasn't his fault that he didn't notice it exactly, but, you know, like, the common practice you should be going with is I make sure I guard properly, I do the best I can to keep everyone together, and kind of all that stuff. And then, of course, I go for the throw. Because I've got the rerolls, I go for it one by one. Like, if you're going for it and you have rerolls, and it's, you know, it's not like a desperate situation or whatever, you go for it one at a time, because if you fail one, you won't want to take the risk again, possibly. So you go for it once. If that succeeds, you can go for it again with the secure in the knowledge that you have you still have a reroll. You know, and it's not often you roll 2 ones. It's happened to me, I'd say, 3 or 4 times in the fairly large now number of matches I've played in Blood Bowl 2. And it's happened to me a lot in Blood Bowl, in the original Blood Bowl, but then again, you know, I played so many matches of those, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, you can see, again, like, he's already out of rerolls. So that happened. You know, turnover. Now, anytime he uses his Orcs, if he gets a skull, and if he gets a skull on a both, again, like, agility, the dude can just run away, never touch him. If you get a skull and both down, I mean, you're gonna pick both down as the Black Orc, but it's too easy, and you can't safely roll 1 dice blocks in the knowledge that at least you have a reroll just in case. You know, like, it's possible for you to roll skull and then re-roll and roll skull again. Hell, I've rolled 2 skulls, re-rolled, and then rolled 2 skulls again on multiple occasions. So, you know, you do the best to minimize the danger that you can. Okay, so this is his last turn, so we're just going to switch to... There we go. So, here we are. We're back. It's turn 10. He has block. The other thing I'll say is, because I've needed, like, bloodless, because I can't pass up the 8 agility, he's got one really big advantage over me, which is his guard on his blitzers, like there. So, you know, he's got block guard. It means they're fairly hard to knock down, and they add, like, regardless of tackle zones, they will add a strength to any block in, you know, they're adjacent to. So it's a really good thing to have to get these, to get a guard blitzer in on, to get a blitzer in on the fight, you know, get him in the thick of it, and just use him as an extra, you know, as a way to have an upper hand in a melee like this. You know, if the blitzer was like here, and this, and let's say the blitzer was in the middle here, you know, you've got 2 guys there, and there's this guy here, this guy can actually attack him and have a 2 dice block because of the guard. So yeah. In regards to orcs, it's not exactly best to try and play a passy, dodgy agility team, but it's not a terrible idea. They're a bit more durable than the humans, and they're a bit more bashy than the humans as well, for the most part, like dependent on skills and everything that you pick up. There's my block. Basically, I wanted ball possession again. So, you know, it didn't matter too much if I got taken down and all that kind of thing. I just wanted to get the ball. And there you go. Again, you see, well, I got a skull there, and I was like, well, I've done most of my blocking. Reroll would be a waste anyway, so I don't. And again, there you see the guard coming into play. It's just like, yep, you going down. So yeah, you know, like this is one way of playing the orcs. The way you're watching Bainesy play as well, it's another way to play the orcs. There's a little bit too much die re-rolling. To be fair to him, in that situation, I would probably do it too, because if you use a blitz on a 4 agility guy, you better take him down, because if you don't take him down, again, that throw, he was trying to get it away from his half. To be honest, he should have kind of gone up and protected his guy, you know, that kind of thing. I think personally. But it's not a terrible idea to go like, actually, you know what? Let's just maybe... and also, always get your guys up first before... Yeah, so there you go. Always get your guys up first before you roll any dice, before you do any blocks. Okay, so yeah. I find I've talked about the best lineup, you know. I've talked about the things that are useful to have, you know, the things that... what I should talk about is skilling up your orcs. Now, because of things like this, 2 throwers is a decent idea. You know, if you get strip ball and you've already got sure hands, and that happened as well, which kind of annoyed me massively. If you've got safe pickup, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head now. Where's my... Oh, down he goes. So he's around here somewhere. My thrower, is that him? No. Oh, for God's sake, is he... I wouldn't have taken... No. Okay, so he was over here somewhere. And then I lost him completely. Is that him? Lineman. Oh, sorry, there he is. No, that is not him. Where is? Yeah, sorry, I can't locate my thrower right now. I think I'm being wrong. But the thrower, sure hands. There we go. So sure hands. You know, just having the ability to pick up the ball and re-roll without spending a re-roll is awesome. I mean, having an agility 4 is also great because it means, you know, you're even better at that stuff. I'm not sure why he threw it over there, but, you know, stuff happens. And yeah, you know, like, I've got my orc there. He can't run to the exit, but, you know, we can kind of go over here, kind of get in tackle zones, make sure they can't get away from me, that kind of thing. Yeah, short hands, that's what it's called. I tried to dodge, again, I could have re-rolled, and I did. Because what I was doing was I was blitzing this dude to crowd surf him. And you see, the thing is this dude has guard. If you have, like, someone on the sidelines, like a blitzer or whoever, and you've got an opportunity to kick them off, you know, like you see, there's no armor penetration. You just roll in it. And again, I did another one, and I'd run out of re-rolls. Like, even if I hadn't, I probably would have just taken it down. I'm going for the touchdown. I'm going for my third touchdown. All three scored by Zed Blaster. And yeah, we're getting towards the end. I don't think it's worth, like, going in detail through the entirety. Although, needless to say, you know, it was a good match. I had different skills to him, and they were actually quite good different skills, in my opinion. You know, like my agility, my dauntless, my dodge, etc. You know, they're very useful. So yeah, I mean, you know, like this is the thing, is like it can be very difficult to pick what to get for these guys. And, you know, as I said, if you get an agility on an orc team, pretty much, like, unless it's a black orc, you take the agility. You know, like, the ability to dodge around in and out of situations is too useful. You know, the dodge just gives you an extra chance, basically. Did I dodge him out? No, I didn't dodge him out, okay. Oh yeah, there you go. So I did dodge him out there, and I had a reroll. Didn't need to use it. I got lucky, but sometimes you get lucky. And yeah, that's the final score. So there was a bit extra here, and we'll Yep. Okay, I didn't press escape. I was just about to. So you can see our Black Orc got knocked out. Sorry, his Black Orc who got knocked out didn't come back in. I didn't have any injury. Did I have injury? No, I didn't have any injuries or knockouts. Okay, so after I actually already recorded to the end of this game, but the things I talked about I felt were a little off topic and a little not really important. So I'm gonna re-record it and hope that it kind of makes sense. You know, I kind of went back over it. I was like, I need to re-record this. So I hope that it makes a bit more sense, and it's a bit more in keeping with it's a bit more in keeping with what I'm trying to do, which is give tips and tricks, and, you know, a little bit of guide to starting coaches for Orcs. So yeah, what you can do with your linemen is you can give them kick, for example. That can aim where you kick. Can be very useful, especially against a team like Dwarves, who will sometimes go all in at the front. You can aim at the back and make them run a bit more, make them split up a bit more. And that's always useful for you. The other thing you can do, aside from, like, giving Dauntless to, for example, this guy, which means that he can attempt to take on things like trolls. You can also give your linemen, like, you know, use them as kind of sacrificial pawns almost, in a lot of teams. You know, they're always the cheapest. They're nearly always the cheapest, and they're nearly always, you know, they don't start with any skills, so it's easier to get rid of them, as it were. And what I'm going to say is, like, wrestle, for example. If you give a lineman wrestle and send him after a troll, if you can get that troll on the ground, you know, it goes past block even. So even if a troll's like attacking you and it has block and you have wrestle, you know, it's just useful. You know, you get it on the ground, and it can be very difficult for it to get back up. You can see, again, you can see here, one tip I can give you is you can use your thrower like this, like he's being used here. You can use your thrower to do a quick pass. You know, if you're not going to win, if you don't think you're going to have to get a touchdown, you can use your thrower to get past the. That was unfortunate. Oh yeah, I had to reroll this. And again, this is another reason why having a reroll is a good thing. Unfortunately, it didn't work for me there, but it can be why having a reroll is a good thing. Yeah, you can pass to get your thrower 1 SPP. Now you think like that's not very much and it's not worth it, but consider an Orcs team, you know, where your thrower's probably not going to get much time, you know, scoring touchdowns and stuff like that. You know, you're going to be passing it on to the blitzers, trying to get them touchdowns because they're worthwhile. Getting 1 SPP on your thrower on your first game, like if he gets a man of the match, an MVP, he gets 5 SPP. That puts him to his first level, and possibly something very useful. Oh yeah, that was right. I tried to blitz that dude and it failed. And then it was at the end of the game. Yeah, so you know, there you go, guys. Like, but he actually, as you can see, he got his strength 4 lineman another MVP, which was really useful. If we go and look at what was the name of the team again? Yeah, let's go look at his. Let's go look at his team quickly. You can see in the league we've actually got like 42, really? Yeah, we've got 42 people. It weirded me out because I'm sheepdog42 on Twitch. So when we look at the teams, then we got. He is here somewhere. Orcsmork? No, Orcs and Sporks. There he is. So you can see his team roster. He's got he's got agility 4 linemen. Is it? I'm sure. Yeah, sorry. This must be the wrong one then. I'll see if I can find the right one and not be dumb. Orcs and Dorks. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, here's the Orcs and Dorks. You can see they've had. That's a loss, that's a draw, that's a win for them, that's a win for them, that's a loss for them. The Whiffle Piffers did well. I think they're a human team. Again, that's a loss for them. I did play them twice in a row. It was a bit unfortunate. They got racked up 2 losses against me. Sheepdogging the Orc team has done really well. But you can see he's got guard, and this is what I was going to talk about, where I kind of lost my thread, and I really wanted to talk about this. Guard is really useful, and I haven't been able to get guard on sheepdogging because I've had other useful things. You know, I've gotten distracted. I've been like, oh, I want to get this and I want to get that. You can see sheepdoggers, the sheepdogging team here. The troll has kind of pushed us up in the rankings and that. So our team value is really high. Possibly I should have left and not gotten the troll, or I should just fire the troll, purely because he's put my team value up so high. I mean, again, this guy, maybe I should fire him because he's not very useful. Now he's lost his agility. Yeah, you know, he can still be a sacrificial lamb type thing, and I can maybe give him wrestle, but he can't dodge out really, and you know that's pretty much a problem. But yeah, you can see I've got Dauntless, I've got Dodge because I roll doubles, I've got jump up, you know, and I do want to get guard, but there's other things that are more useful because I got I've got dodge on my thrower, because I've got agility for blitzer. I'm more of a scoring team. I'm more of a scoring power force than I am like a smack 'em around. So, you know, I've got Dauntless to deal with the big guys like trolls. I've got Jump Up so that, you know, I can use these guys and use their mobility. Like, I've gone more mobility, and again, with the agility. So what I do want to do is I need a couple of guys with guard. And blitzers are the best choice for guard for the most part, just purely because they got block, and it means they're easier to keep up and keep on their feet. Now, who knows what I'm going to be able to manage. Like, for example, I won't want it on my agility guy because he's going to be a goal scorer. You know, like clearly you saw in the last game, he's going to be a goal scorer. So there is a certain amount of you have to roll with the punches, and if you get an agility blitzer, if you get doubles so you can get a dodge, you know, sometimes things change from how you want to take it. You know, if you want to be bashy, you suddenly end up with a team that's not bashy at all. You know, not really. So yeah, you really do have to kind of roll with the punches and see what you can do. But my kind of basic advice for an orc team is get 12 players. You know, so get your initial lineup. Don't go for the troll. As tempting as it is, it's just not worth it. They're too unreliable, and they can basically sit out the entire game being stupid. You know, and you know, you could have 4 black orcs, all strength 4. You could have 2 blitzers, a thrower, and a few linemen, and 4 linemen. And then after your first game, maybe buy a blitzer if you get lucky, if it's good. And then after a few more games, you get a 4th reroll. Then you can think about getting other stuff, like a troll, which is what I've done here. And yeah, basically just, you know, I feel like that's the best tactic. The other one, you know, you can go for 4 blitzers, 3 black orcs. You can go for things like that. I'd say thrower is almost a must, just purely because it will save you a reroll, and you should be trying to save rerolls. So, you know, you have sure hands. That means if you try and pick up the ball, you have a reroll. And with no agility guys, you know, with no one with starting agility 4, you want to be able to pick up the ball as often as possible. And the sure hands won't ensure that, but it means at least you don't waste a reroll continually failing to pick up the ball. And you know, you should do that. You should do that last, along with Black Orc blocks, because yeah, that's the other thing. Consider how things can go wrong before you start doing your blocks, because if you get 2 skulls on a Black Orc, you may just want to pick a skull. And the best time to do that is after you've done all your other things, like moving your blitzers, you know, getting people in position, getting your guys up. You know, the Black Orcs have weakness, which is basically 2 dice, skull, both down. You know, the blitzers don't have that weakness because the blitzers have block. So, you know, if you're, yeah, that's another thing I'll say. If you want to get like 2 rerolls, if you want to live dangerously, or if you just want to be safer, get 4 blitzers and 1 less black orc, and maybe get maybe get another lineman instead. You know, kind of get a work out like a total of what you want. But, you know, play with it, have a bit of fun with it. Like, you know, as I said, you can get a troll and a goblin and just have fun with it. It can be a fun team. It can be a bit of a mess around silly team. You can make it very bashy. You can turn it into, like, a silly, you know, if you're lucky, you can turn it into, like, a silly passing running team as well. You know, like, orcs are fairly versatile. They're just a bit more survivable than humans, and they're a bit more bashy than humans, basically. So yeah, there you go, guys. I'm gonna end it there. I think I've gone through the pretty much most of what I wanted to get across. It's just like the starting ideas, really. So, you know, don't consider this to be like the be-all and end-all of how to play orcs, of how to play Skaven, or dwarves, or humans. It's just something I wanted to do because I've noticed a lot of people coming into the stream being interested in the game and not really knowing what to do, falling into the trap of wanting to do a bashy team, but, you know, always using the rerolls because they're not punching people down enough. And I just want to give like basic tips to, like, you know, kind of try and help people understand the traps you can fall into and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be doing dwarves next, and I'll do humans last because I probably play humans the least, and I probably need at least one game as the humans to get an idea in my head of what I want to say. So there you go, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. More Blood Bowl videos are coming because you guys are enjoying them. I'm enjoying them. I can honestly play Blood Bowl for ages. So when the game's actually released, I'm going to be doing tips and tricks for all of them. I may do a general, just like, you know, how to avoid the trap of getting too bashy, or like what about the rerolls. You know, I may do some videos on just generalized coaching tactics and stuff like that as well. Let me know what you'd like. Let me know the kind of thing you'd like me to talk about, and etc. And yeah, you know, once it comes out, I'll be playing other teams. I'll be showing you other teams, and we're going to be playing the league on Twitch. It's a lot of fun, you know. So I'll come online, I'll stream, and everyone will come into the stream and play each other while I'm, you know, playing people in the league and stuff. You know, I'm having so much fun with it, and from what I can tell, everyone in the chat is having a lot of fun with it too. You will be seeing, possibly tomorrow, probably more likely towards the weekend, you'll be seeing some of the worst luck I've ever had. So look out for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.